Welcome to the Unleashed Life, where ambitious women take control of their mindset, money, and mastery. I'm your host, Dr. Renée Baker. Let's get unleashed. Welcome back to the Unleashed Life. I'm your host, Renée Baker, and today I am joined by a very dear friend, someone who embodies resilience and transformation and just a bright, just amazing bright light. Renee Hutcherson-Lussier. She is a master coach, an international best-selling author, a dynamic speaker, known for helping high achievers embrace emotional intelligence, shatter limiting beliefs, and live fully unleashed in their own way. So today you are going to get a taste of R&R, but not in the way that you think is going to happen. Nay, what a great name. I am so thrilled to have you here.
I love this. I love being here. It's awesome. I'm so excited about what you are unleashing in the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm just so happy to have you here, just so you can share some of your brilliance with the listeners, anyone that's watching. See, I know your brilliance, and I say some because they need to experience you to really to just embrace all your greatness.
Oh my goodness.
Your journey has been so powerful, and you've helped so many people, including myself, just step into our full potential. So before we dive in, can you share a little bit about your journey and your background?
Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm so honored, so humbled. Let me just say that, not just with our souls meeting, because that has been truly a blessing for me as well. But my life has just been, I don't quite yet have the word. It's been amazing, which people will see. You go, amazing is a word that you normally put with something good and great, but it has been one of those kind of shakeups that I truly needed. Let me go back. I was a little girl who dreamed big, dreamed phenomenally big. I would sit in my closet before there was an Oprah, and I had a microphone, and I dreamed of speaking to incredible numbers of people. I don't know why, but I was 8 years old. I pulled away from the noise of my household. I had quite a few, 3 other siblings, a mom and a dad, and a lot going on in the house. A mama who was bona fide and badass, if I can say that. My dad was just a man's man, but he also was, surprisingly to say, I think, to people, a mother figure for me and for my siblings. My mother had her goals, and she went about the world, kicking ass. And so taking names. And my daddy was the one who, helped us get in touch with who we were, establish a system inside the household, checked homework and everything. He was an amazing soul. But moving forward, I went about life putting those goals and dreams that I had in my head in force. I got married. We bought a home. My dad said, own property. So we went about, my husband and I, buying property, renovating property. We had children. And all of a sudden, I realized not just that things weren't right, but that it wasn't that picture of happiness and wholeness that I wanted for myself. I didn't know what to do. Being a highly spiritual woman, I believed that, okay, I made a covenant. I've got to be here. So let's try to see how to fix this thing. I will tell you over some years that, let's just say, it ended up being that the marriage did not work. He left, and no fault of his own, but that's what he felt that he needed to do at the time. I'm also an empath, so I feel things to a great level. So that was a level of failure that I had not experienced and had not even expected. And so it took me down to depths that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't want to be a failure. I was a level of perfectionist, and I was spiraling so fast. There was nothing to hold on to. I lost everything, Renee, everything.
Ah,
The physical things, the home. I lost the custody of my children because at the same time I had moved over to my dream career and ended up losing it through some actions of mine, but mostly the economy. It was the Great Recession. And so I lost the external things, but I also lost internal things that I didn't know you could lose. I lost my faith. I
mm,
lost my belief system in the Renee that I was. I lost bank accounts and but dreams of where I would be and who I would become and everything was gone.
right.
And it didn't take long. It was a fast fall, a free fall. So during that time, I wandered, what my soul wandered. My emotions were just, toxic and chaotic. And I blamed people. I blamed everybody else. And so there came a moment, a time in that time frame that I had suicide ideation. I attempted suicide. I sat on the side of the road with 2 bottles of sleeping pills, a plan that was very specific in my head. I filled up my gas tank with money that my daddy gave me to really care for my kids at the time, but I filled my gas tank and I had a one-way plan to end it all.
Mm,
And it was in that moment that God revealed herself to me,
right.
loving, eternal part of God, and said, "No, ma'am,
No, ma'am.
not today, not now. There are things for you to do. Everything that you see, everything that you feel is a part of that thing."
Yeah.
And I was in the middle of writing my dad a letter. I was on my 8th page. That probably was the first book, or
The first book.
but I realized that the things that I was writing to my daddy to tell him thank you for everything that you have been, it would have been a lie if the story had ended there. So
Right.
it didn't happen. I turned the car around. I said, okay, how now? How now am I to live? If I'm not to die, how now am I to live? So I have tried to put in force some of the things that were dropped in my spirit that day, forgiveness being the very first. So
Right.
it's been a process.
Every time, I mean, thank you for sharing it and thank you for just your vulnerability. I like to give that story the sacred space that it needs to have because there may be someone listening
Absolutely.
that has gone or is going through something similar. And
Yeah,
Renee, as you talk about the transition and you talk about the feelings that you have and losing, sometimes we get so caught up on the things we don't even realize that sometimes things have to go away,
that's right.
all of the amazing things to come to pass. And we don't know what we don't know. And
Yeah.
sometimes, oftentimes, all the time, God's plan is bigger than ours.
Bigger than ours and bigger than we can see, bigger than the imagination we have for ourselves. And I thought that I dreamed big. God has shown me bigger.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm on fire today for that person who is on the side of the road, either holding those 2 bottles or planning or on their way to that moment. I have been shown that I rose not for me because I am risen, but I didn't rise for me. I rose for all those little me's who have no idea of what's on the other side of that moment that they're in.
This is so beautiful, so
Mhm.
sacred. And as you tell that story, I feel the level of grief, I feel the level of loss, but also I feel this high level of hope, of maybe reverence of like what's possible, right? Like what is possible. And like you said, for all the little me's and all the little you's and all the people out there who don't know or have that hope.
Mm.
But it felt like this could have been a pull, a
Yes.
moment when, you know, this is not just about career pull, this is about purpose.
Yes.
And, you know, I said, I sometimes say, or even in my own experience, life will whisper to you before it screams,
Yes.
and things happen for us and not to us.
Yes.
So, can you talk about that pull and how it got you to this place of where you are now, this very empowering,
Mm.
successful, beautiful human that
Oh,
you are and have been, but just another level of you. Let's
yeah.
talk about when you knew that this wasn't a crisis, this was a calling.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. I love that question. We move about life as beings. We are spiritual and we have these bodies, right? Some of us have a clue early on who we are, what we are about, and how. We think we know all the little details,
Right.
but how we will move about the earth, arising and becoming, because that's our true goal, to become this being that I believe God has put us here on this earth in this space, to become. I didn't know early on. I'm not that prodigy who had a clue. I love so many different things. I love creating art. I love music. I love meeting and connecting with people.
Mhm.
I love incredible moments and making sure that everyone is attached to their happy. And when I look back at my life, those are the little things, which are big things to me, but those are the little things that I can connect together about some inkling of who that little girl was. But it also casts not a shadow, but a door opening to
Mhm.
who I would become, because that's everything that I try to be today. The pull. After I fell, that falling was all a part of, just as you say, having me see myself, having me let go of the things that I attributed to that successful person that I would be, including being aligned with someone who was not supposed to be in this part of my life, on this part of my journey. And, I know the spiritual and the Christian part of people, that may be a problem, but it's clearly true
Right.
for my life. May not be true for everybody. So there were plenty of things that I had to let go of, including inside some internal systems that I had set up, the personality, a lot of who I was at the time. I had a loud voice of negativity, and that used to take ownership in the space of my mind. And then if it takes space in my mind, it was there in my heart, it was there in my spirit. It had no place. So I did not get a clue. I did not feel that very strong pull until after that great failure, which was, I have to say, the greatest delight of my life. It's crazy. I say that. I do have tears.
Yes.
There is a catch in my voice, but it is the greatest delight of my life that I not only experienced that, because it was truly divine, truly God's love for me, but how it happened. God made a space for me to land in my daddy's home. That same maternal, paternal love coming through my daddy. I had my spiritual father on one shoulder, my earthly father in my ear and on the other. And I was in a hospital, and it
Mhm.
lasted for 3 years. And happily, I was able to restart my life in the way that it was supposed to go. But it was my earthly father who said, "This is bigger than you." My earthly father was a writer at heart, never published anything, but had tons of writings. And I would write, and he would say, "You make sure you publish this. You make sure you capture this. But when you get out there. And when you on your feet, Renee,
Mhm.
let them find you running.
Oh,
Those were his words to me. And then God called my daddy home. So, I know that that part of his life was exactly as it was supposed to be.
right.
He was there for me, nurturing, giving me everything that I needed to be here, to stand and to run. So it was right in that, at the end of that hospital time, that I was given the charge to be who I am today and do the things that I'm doing today.
It is so,
It's
so,
incredible.
so powerful. And I mean, I've heard this, but I still get chills when you say it. I get emotional when you tell this story because one, just the vulnerability. I mean, it's so hard for some people to get out of these spaces and places that feel so dark, that feel like
Yes.
there's no hope. So, what would you say to someone? What can you say to someone who may be in have that same mindset, or may be in that similar place, to help them get out of it, and maybe not in your way, but maybe in a way that's going to be able to help them see the possibilities when they're in a space that they cannot see what is possible.
It's so beautiful. I would like you, let me speak directly to you, my love, as one who is broken and who chooses to remain broken, because that is the beauty of who I am. That's the beauty, I believe, of what God is doing. And that is the beauty of reaching and connecting into your life and the life of other people who may be going through, who may be overwhelmed, who may not see the beauty of who they are. And so if that is you, let me speak to you. Every day I rise with the wisdom of my past, with the fire of my becoming. And I have chosen resilience. I accept my life, my failures, my everything. I return to the places, those broken spaces, so that I can see the pieces, see who I was then. And it helps me to know that God has done an amazing work. So I want you to see that letting go is beauty. Letting go is wholeness. Letting go is healing. And it will take you to who you are to be so that you can be even greater than your mind can even fathom, so that you can be used in a way that you have no idea, no idea. So just let go. And, I know they say let go, let God, but let go of those pieces, but celebrate who you are right now. I celebrate every day and move into your becoming. It will be glorious.
Wow. Thank you so much, Renee. Thank you for the women that are listening, the individuals that are listening. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for me. You have walked us through pain, power, and becoming. And you talked about resilience. And I've heard you say, resilience isn't about bouncing back. It's about regenerating forward.
That's right.
And when life tested you in the darkest moments, right? When it was so hard and it was so challenging that it changed you. But that word regeneration is
Yes.
powerful because it suggests growth and healing and becoming something new and different from even what we expect. And I want to sit in that for a moment with you, because sometimes that moment when we need to bounce back, sometimes we don't even realize that even the small things, like you said, celebrate the small things, it's enough. So, what cracked that open for you? And then I want to talk about what came from it, because there's so much beauty and wow that has come from it. I'm just going to say wow because I know, but that has come from that moment. So, can you take us through that?
Sure. After going through such, as my daughter would say as a little girl, ginormous. I went through ginormous burnout, shrinkage, loss, toxicity. After sitting in that and coming through that in the hospital that my dad created for me, I see that there are different parts of you that may need to go and get healing from a therapist, may need to sit down and do some spiritual development. So I did these things. I went through different types of therapy. There was a brief moment because of my depression. And if you are depressed, I highly encourage everyone to go and lock arms with a professional therapist, a professional counselor, someone who can help you walk through this moment, this season of your life, because it is okay. It is okay. It is what I needed. So I did all of this. I giggled because the minute somebody said, here's a therapy session over here, I jumped in it. So I counted. And after I finished, and they were slow, they were not quick, one day. They took months, agonizing months. But after I finished about six different types of therapies, I then went into a spiritual type of development. And after I came out of all of these things, the word that was in my gut was resilience. There's so many different components of resilience. And so each has to be worked on, each has to be developed, pulled and tugged, and it is not an easy process. But as I said in the beginning, we are here for the development of our being so that we stretch. This is obviously what I believe, so that we stretch from who we were and become who God has ordained that we become. And that is not to have everything, although that could be the end all, the great car, the zeros, the numbers with all the zeros in the bank, the travel, the freedom here, there, and everywhere. That could be a part of everyone's dynasty if that is, within your spirit. But it is definitely so that you drop seeds, wisdom for other people to grab a hold of so that they can have help into their becoming. My word is catapult, so that you can catalyze their catapult. You don't want to just rise. You don't want to just go forward. You want to catapult, which is an upward forward kind of progression that is just dynamic. It's quintessential. And that's how I came up with the name of my business, QE, for quintessential. It's activating so many different things. But that resilience is what I want to teach other people. It's why I became certified in this resilience kind of training. It has everything to do with self-love. It has everything to do with self-care, which sometimes people don't even realize is a different component of self-love. It's bold. It's acting on your faith. It's activating the me, that child, that little girl me that's still within you and is begging to get out. So I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, I'm just pulled in. I am just pulled in, and I love that you talk about resilience in the way that you do. And yes, you did answer the question, and you gave me something to anchor on. You talked about the resilience. That's something that you were born with, but you cultivated it. It was through one therapy session at a time. It was one spiritual stretch at a time to catapult you to where you are today. And although it might have been a slow process, what surprised you most about actually, like what it actually took to become whole, or a new version of whole? Well, how would you define it? Would you say that you were whole again, or you became whole in a new way? But what surprised you most?
What continues to surprise me, because I can only speak of where I am and where I have been, delightfully so, but I am still into my becoming. So I am still working on me. There are things that I still need to let go of. And so as I am a work in process, I think the word is wholer.
Okay, I like.
Because what surprised me is that, I'm going to say this, it rocked me, so it may rock someone else out there. And then I'll explain, I owe no one an apology of anything, any mistake I made, any hurt that I scattered, anything I did. I arrived here because of those mistakes. I sat in a special place, went through the therapies, allowed the reckoning of my spirit, the atoning from of all the failures and the mistakes of my soul. And so I am here delightfully, happily, eagerly. So the surprise came because of realizing that I can't possibly apologize because everything that happened brought me here. Now, I don't say that because I have not done the work. And I don't say that because I am not still doing the work. I had to apologize to myself. I had to apologize to God. I had to apologize to people that are important in my path to where I am going. But when I realized that the people who hurt me did what they did because of what my daddy said, my daddy told me, you can't be anywhere else than right where you are. When I got that, that showed me that, okay, I can't apologize for that person that I was,
Right.
that person who hurt me, specifically because of whatever they could or couldn't endure or what they did or did not want for themselves that had to do with me. They can't apologize because they couldn't be anything else than who they were at that time. Now, do I always want to be that person hurting and unleashing toxicity and turmoil and pain for other people? Absolutely not. And so therein lies the work. So when I say that it's on a divine level,
Okay.
that there's not an apology that I could ever give. But on that human level, for people who are not quite at that divine, level, I will, and I do, and I have apologized because that is what they need for their soul until they understand that I couldn't do anything any more than what I could do. Forgive me.
Of course.
But, I did some awful things just like we all do. And it was a broken person who believed in the shallowness of responding and reacting in the way that she did. And I am working on me, and I pray that others will work on themselves too. I would love to be a light for others to see, if not a reflection of themselves, who they are, further along on their path, but who they could become. And so that encourages me to keep going, to keep working.
It's such a beautiful testament to the fact that you remind us that we're all in the process of becoming, and becoming isn't about being perfect. And we
No,
get caught up in, okay, what does that perfection look like? It's about being present. It's about
right.
owning our mistakes and the missteps and the messy middle, and
That's right.
knowing that there are things that we have experienced that we need to give ourselves grace for, and apologizing to ourselves first
That's right.
is a big part of that journey before we can apologize to others. And also, and not in a disrespectful way, but knowing that as we have become, and we're all on our individual journeys, that we are becoming in a way that might not be perfect, and we don't mean to hurt anyone in the process.
That's
But
right.
when we know better, we can do better. But
Right.
you can't I always say, I can't get pulled into something that I work through to appease someone else for something that I have worked through, that I can't apologize more, I can't fix it
That's right.
more. And that is a really difficult thing for people to hear. It might sound selfish to people, but I think it's
Yes.
selfless
Right.
is what I'm hearing. And you gave language to something that so many of us need to hear, that
Mm.
we owe no one an
Right.
apology for becoming. And that is so powerful, Renee.
Well, I believe that. I see that in my own life as I do the work and as I sit with, my God, my learning is about that I have to receive, the place where I am, the person that I am, the faults, the beauty. Everybody wants to look in the mirror and, put on the makeup and portray to the world. And that's all well and good, but I have to receive the brokenness of who I am because it is also beauty. So not giving apology, as I said, is not, always received on a human level.
Exactly.
That person that you hurt doesn't need to hear that you owe them no apology. You need to kind of somehow, figure out how to give into that moment, especially if we're talking about a child or some other person who is at a lower, if you can realize that person is at a lower stage of development. It's not about, this is not ego.
Right.
So it's not, setting yourself up, but if you can realize, if you can see things, then possibly you're at a higher level of development. And so it may be kind. It may look like love to that person to say, look, I am sorry. I'm sorry for. However, what I am saying to you is that divine person that you are becoming, right, needed to sit and own that person, that hurt, that mistake that was made, that brokenness, that toxicity that you unleashed, because that, as you own it, as you see the mistake, as you realize the devastating impact of it and recognize that, no, I don't ever want to do that again. And so you're spiraling upward into your being. That and those enabled you to be right where you are. So it's for you to realize that you owe no apology. It's not in the relating to others, and it's the relationships that will help us to become. So
I love that. And that, feels like an altar call. And I know that as you're sharing those words, there's someone that is listening that is aligning with that, that completely gets that. And we're all in this process of we're in our own journey.
yes.
And as you have, made or had these evolutions, and as you've grown, if you could name, or if you had to name uh, one sacred lesson of where you are right now, what would it be?
So many things are running through my head. I will say that in my eagerness to get out the wisdom that my earthly daddy gave to me, right? Because he gave me some crazy wisdom that I knew was wisdom at the time, the way it cut and hit me and landed seeds and watered seeds and was sun and gave me those nutrients to grow. I saw it because of how it catapulted me. My life is beyond amazing now, and I can say that my earthly father was amazing in my life. My heavenly father, of course, gave him, my earthly father, what was needed for me. And so, my heavenly father continues to nurture me. So the wisdom, if I have the question correct, that I recognize I had to slow down in my eagerness to get the wisdom out.
Exactly.
It was slow down, get in your closet, continue the work, opening up your soul, continuing the connection here, continuing the connection out, but making sure that I continue the fire within me. So I had to get to know this person. I went through that let go process. It was really something. Who is Renee today? Who is she? Every time we go through things, every time we have a growth spurt, a letting go spurt, a reckoning, for lack of, better term, we need to get in our closet. And what that means to me is that little girl that I told you would literally pull away and get in a closet and have a journal notebook and have a pen and have a microphone and really talk with God. That is the closet that I'm referring to. If you need to get in a literal closet, do it, or incorporate some sort of quiet time at the beginning of your day, at the end of your day as a plus, but 20 to 30 minutes speaking on your core values, speaking on those things that that align within you and are called fear.
Yes.
Speaking on, what challenges you, what you see, and recognize things that you're running from. I have to do that all the time because I'm a scared cat, and that's a challenge with me. But take one action step, take ownership of just one thing that you can do at the end of your closet time, so that keeps me empowered, that keeps me just, right where I need to be. And I'm very thankful, very grateful. Also incorporate gratitude.
Yes, and I think as you name the closet, and like whatever that closet is for of us, get in there, clean out your closets. Clean out your closets, get rid of the things that no longer serve you, no longer fit the version of you that you are becoming.
Right.
You don't need to sell, we don't need to donate everything. Some things we need to throw in the trash. Some
Yes.
things we need to go give back to their rightful owner. And
Yes.
some things that it just needs to go on.
Some things need to be in order.
Yes.
Create
Organized.
order. Right. After you pull and after you determine, do I need and either throw away or give away or whatever, determine an order. Get the blues with the blues if that's how you need. But you've got to understand who you are. I love color. I need it color coordinated. I need it to make sense. I need it to talk to me. Understand who you are. That's an everyday challenge for us. I found myself speaking sharply, in a specific moment with a specific person. So in my closet, once I ask, God, that's my higher power, and everyone, ascribes differently. But why am I doing this? That is so, I want to unleash love in the world. That is non-love, unlove. Why am I doing this? And so it actually is a learning process for me to understand, what are these feelings? Why do these feelings connect into a certain part of me? What is the part of me? Is it the little girl? Is it the struggling 40-year-old that lost everything? Is it, who is it?
Who is it?
And then why is it? Why am I internalizing that in the way that I'm internalizing it? And how can I do better? Because you are the only person who can allow something to hurt.
Yes.
That's you empowering yourself. Nobody can hurt you unless you let them.
Allow that. Exactly.
And then the second thing I want, the second seed. Nope, sorry. I'm throwing that word out. Do in all that you are able to keep your power. The opposite of that, which I try to say things in a positivity, but the opposite is do not give your power away, beloved.
Say that again. I think somebody here needs to hear that again.
Do not give your power away. The positive of that is do everything within you to build and grow your power. There's so many ways that we say, I don't know, I don't have. Affirm the power that you have. See it and grow it. Magnify it. Take the step in the power that you have. We're not all completely able to do everything. What are you able to do?
Do what can you do? And then do it. And it is okay. And we're all on this journey of
absolutely,
of becoming, and we could have all of the things. You could have the title, you can have the degrees, you can have the stuff. You could still feel empty.
Yes.
Unless you call back your power, call it back in,
Yes.
own it,
That's
and
right.
never give it away again.
That's it. And let me bring up something else that just popped in my brain because, as I said, I walk this walk, and so I want to share from my own experience, right? So that it fully resonates and it fully magnifies within whomever it is for. I was called to do the things, I had a ladies retreat a couple years ago. I, released books. I speaking on the speaking stage and, this, that, and the other, coaching clients and just being invigorated within my soul. And then came the big voice of, it's time to sit back. It's time to sit down because I got a whole level of busy that, as I said, I love, but busy is giving. It's giving. It's right. And
That's true.
so I'm in a restorative season right now. I had to sit down after my retreat. I had to allow the coaching clients and contracts to come to their fullness. I had to let them know next year I'm not renewing, but I will let you know as soon as I am so that I can sit down. Look what's right here. My journal.
Journal.
That's just one journal.
Say,
Right?
stack
Right.
the journal.
Yeah. But sit down, quiet my soul, and listen. So I'm praying, but I'm in a season of quiet listening. And I'm being shown so many things that I will be creating when it's time. And I'm excited. But that is for someone else.
Yes.
This process of becoming is not for the faint of heart. It's not going to feel good all the time. Incredible. Your soul will be ignited. It is amazing. And I don't want to just speak to the person who's on the side of the road, who is hurt and who is broken, who is imagining how could my life ever be, the things that I've dreamed about. I want to talk to the person who is living that life, who is walking dynamically with, letters behind her name, degrees,
Fabulously.
all those zeros, because you are still just a smidgen of who you are to become.
I love this
So
permission to
let's do
pause.
this, right?
Yes, I love that. And I said, you can be, sometimes we need that sacred space to give ourselves permission to pause. And I always say journaling is a ministry. Each one has something sacred.
Yeah.
It also, that's my conversation with me and God, me and whatever. I don't need to perform.
Right.
Someone's on the other side.
That's right.
Renee, you have shared so many just nuggets of wisdom and insight. I just love how you preach in this poetic and loving way, but it's coming from this place of, and I know your heart, and I hope that everyone that's listening knows and gets, even if they get just a glimmer of the light that you bring, they will be transformed as I have been transformed from the moment, like the moment that we met. It was supposed to be an hour. I think what it was ended up being 4.
It is reciprocal. You are an amazing soul. My heart was ignited. My soul and spirit were ignited just when we met. And as you said, we thought we were coming for dinner, but we knew each other long before.
Oh man.
And it was just my God, girl. I'm in awe of you. I am so proud of you. And I'm just amazed with the things that you're doing. Just in the time that I've known you. Amazing things. So
well, thank you. It's easy to have that, be powered by having amazing humans like yourself in my life, and as part of the tribe that I trust. So as we are wrapping up today, Renee, I ask each of the guests to share their unleashed moment. You've shared a lot of unleashed moments, but what is one thing that you can share with the audience, a moment like that broke down barriers, that shifted you, that changed things?
Yeah. Excuse me. I've shared so many moments. I have been shifted from the moment I landed on this earth. They are all so important to me. And but that moment when I was 40 and lost everything was the most shifting moment in the power that I own and the presence, the being that I am today and who I know that I am to be for tomorrow. So even though it was a shedding of everything and in a most painful way because I didn't want to be here, but God has revealed, everything to me and brought my life back in a way that's wholer, wholesome, and healed and still being healed in a way that it could not have happened to the capacity unless I went through that moment. So I realized that my unleashed life is my divine inheritance. It's my becoming. It's everything that has catalyzed, who I am. And I have 5 young ladies that I mentor who they will become. And when I pick back up with my coaching, who those clients will become and who the people that sit in on my speaking and the workshops and the retreats and everything that God shows me I am to do. I have a 30-day challenge coming up. Release Queen Bee.
How do we sign up for that? Can people, get in touch with you, follow you, and keep in touch?
Right now, Power Shift Me. So I love the word that you said, powershiftme.kit.com is people signing up saying, hey, I want to be a part of whatever it is. And I've got several challenges coming down the line. I know that Free Queen Bee is the first because it is you sitting with yourself and affirming who you are and unleashing mirror work, love language to you. So I'm excited.
I love my mirror work too, by the way. So my mirror work. But thank you so much, Renee, and to the listeners and folks that are watching. I don't know what it is that you need to unleash or release or what season you're stepping into, but I will tell you this. You heard it today from Renee. There's so much power in our stories. There's power in our pause. There's powers in our wisdom. There's wisdom in our weariness, and there's purpose in our becoming. This is not the end of your story. This is not the end of our story. What Renee walked us through was the reckoning before the rising. And whether you're still standing tall or you're sitting down, but your soul is speaking and calling out, go ahead and make some room. Not for what the world expects, but for whatever God or whatever your belief system, whatever the universe, what the life is unfolding for you. So stay soft, stay strong, keep it cute, stay in the fire and through the fire. And just remember that the best is yet to come. So thank you again, Renee. Thank you so much for pouring into us and for just helping us understand what is possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on The Unleashed Life. I hope today's episode has inspired you to break free from financial constraints and societal expectations, cultivating a mindset of abundance and possibility. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform and join our vibrant online community to share your own unleashed moments and connect with like-minded individuals. Until next time, keep breaking barriers, embrace your beautiful, authentic self, and live life unleashed.